In a world filled with rich histories and ancient wisdom, the dialogue between Islam and Judaism has been a source of fascination and reflection for centuries. Imagine two great traditions, each with its own story of divine revelation and moral guidance, intertwining and diverging over time. This exploration invites us to journey through the origins, teachings, and practices of both Islam and Judaism, shedding light on their shared roots and unique perspectives. The story begins in the ancient lands of the Middle East, where the echoes of prophets and sacred texts have guided communities for millennia, inspiring art, ethics, and everyday life. As we embark on this journey, we are invited to reflect on how these faiths view the nature of God, the role of sacred law, and the path to a meaningful life, using simple language that reaches every heart and mind. The origins of Judaism reach deep into antiquity, where the covenant between God and the people of Israel was established through the teachings given to figures like Abraham and Moses. In the Torah, the foundational text of Judaism, we find the story of a chosen people who entered into a sacred agreement with the one true God. This tradition emphasizes laws, rituals, and ethical commandments that have been passed down through generations, forming the bedrock of Jewish identity. In its narratives, the Bible recounts miracles, moral challenges, and the enduring relationship between the divine and humankind. These stories, simple yet profound, remind us that faith is not just a set of rituals, but a living conversation between a community and its creator. A conversation that has continued to inspire millions through centuries of history. In contrast, Islam emerged in the 7th century as a renewal of the monotheistic message that had long been echoed in the teachings of earlier prophets. Muslims believe that the final and complete message of God was revealed to Prophet Muhammad through the Quran, a book regarded as the unaltered word of Allah. This sacred text emphasizes the oneness of God, a concept known as Tawheed, and calls believers to submit wholeheartedly to His will. The Quran frequently references the children of Israel, urging its followers to remember the lessons of the past while embracing a message of universal mercy and justice. Complementing the Quran, the Hadith literature records the sayings and actions of Prophet Muhammad, offering practical guidance on how to live a life of compassion, fairness, and devotion. This message, communicated with clarity and simplicity, reinforces the belief that every action and word matters in the eyes of God. Both Judaism and Islam share a deep commitment to monotheism, yet they express this belief in distinct ways. In Judaism, the relationship with God is built on a covenant, a promise of protection, guidance, and responsibility that calls on the community to live according to divine law. The Torah, with its commandments and moral stories, teaches that ethical behavior and social justice are the paths to a meaningful and faithful life. Similarly, in Islam, the oneness of God is not only a theological principle, but a call to live with sincerity and purpose. The Quran teaches that every individual is responsible for his or her actions, and that genuine faith is reflected in acts of kindness and charity. The Prophet Muhammad's teachings, recorded in the Hadith, stress that true piety is seen in one's treatment of others, underscoring the value of compassion and social responsibility. These shared themes reveal that despite differences in ritual and tradition, both faiths emphasize a life of ethical conduct and heartfelt devotion. The stories of prophets play a central role in both traditions, providing moral examples and a framework for understanding divine guidance. For Judaism, prophets like Moses and Elijah are revered for their role in delivering God's laws and leading their people through trials and triumphs. Moses, who led the Israelites out of bondage, is remembered for receiving the commandments on Mount Sinai, a moment that still shapes Jewish thought and practice today. In Islam, Moses, known as Musa, is also honored as a great prophet whose life and struggles are recounted repeatedly in the Quran. Alongside Moses, Figures such as Abraham and David are celebrated for their unwavering faith and submission to God's will. The Islamic narrative teaches that all prophets brought the same essential message of monotheism and justice, with Prophet Muhammad being the final messenger. This common heritage, shared through stories and teachings, highlights how both faiths seek to answer life's deepest questions through the example of those who walked the divine path before them. When it comes to sacred texts and religious law, Judaism and Islam offer rich, detailed guides for living. The Torah, along with the Talmud and later rabbinic interpretations, forms the backbone of Jewish law, emphasizing rituals, dietary guidelines, and ethical commandments that shape daily life. In the simple yet powerful language of these texts, believers are reminded to observe traditions that preserve community identity and honor the memory of their ancestors. In Islam, the Quran serves as a comprehensive guide, with verses that instruct, inspire, and challenge. The Hadith further elaborates on these teachings, providing practical examples of how to uphold justice, compassion, and humility in everyday actions. Both traditions encourage a life of learning and reflection, where the study of sacred texts is not an academic exercise, but a pathway to inner peace and communal harmony. These written words continue to influence legal systems, cultural norms, and personal behavior in profound ways that resonate even in modern society. Daily practices offer another window into the lives of those who follow Judaism and Islam. In Jewish tradition, the Sabbath serves as a weekly opportunity for rest, reflection, and community bonding. Families gather to share meals, recite prayers, and celebrate the sanctity of time set apart for spiritual rejuvenation. Festivals such as Passover and Yom Kippur provide moments of communal remembrance and renewal, teaching lessons of forgiveness, gratitude, and resilience. In Islam, daily prayer, performed at prescribed times throughout the day, serves as a constant reminder of a believer's duty to remember and honor Allah. The month of Ramadan, with its fasts and communal meals, offers a time for self-discipline, reflection, and charitable giving. Both faiths place a high value on ritual practices that not only honor the divine, but also foster a strong sense of community, belonging, and shared responsibility among their followers. The ethical teachings of both Judaism and Islam stress the importance of compassion, justice, and charity as fundamental virtues. In Judaism, the commandments found in the Torah encourage believers to pursue righteousness by caring for the vulnerable, treating strangers with kindness, and seeking justice for all members of society. These values are echoed in the wisdom of the prophets and the ethical traditions of the Jewish people, who have long championed the cause of social justice. Similarly, Islamic teachings emphasize the duty to care for the poor, support the needy, and stand up against injustice. The Hadiths remind believers that acts of kindness, no matter how small, are a reflection of true faith, and that every gesture of goodwill brings one closer to Allah. This common commitment to ethical behavior reinforces the idea that faith, at its core, is about serving humanity and creating a better, more compassionate world for everyone. The influence of Judaism and Islam on art, culture, and science cannot be overstated. Over centuries, Jewish communities have contributed to literature, music, philosophy, and the sciences, often under challenging circumstances. Their resilience and dedication to preserving knowledge have enriched not only their own culture, but also the broader human heritage. Islam, too, has a storied history of scientific discovery, artistic innovation, and philosophical inquiry. The Golden Age of Islam saw scholars from diverse backgrounds gathering in centers of learning, where they advanced medicine, mathematics, astronomy, and literature. This period of vibrant intellectual exchange was marked by a deep respect for learning and a belief that seeking knowledge was an act of worship. These cultural achievements, born of religious devotion and intellectual curiosity, serve as enduring reminders that faith and reason can walk hand in hand. each enriching the other in a dance of human creativity and divine inspiration. Despite their many similarities, Judaism and Islam have also experienced periods of tension and conflict throughout history. Political, social, and cultural factors have at times exacerbated differences, leading to misunderstandings and strife. Yet even in these moments of discord, the underlying teachings of both traditions call for peace, justice, and reconciliation. The historical record shows that there were long periods when Muslims and Jews lived side by side in harmony, exchanging ideas and fostering mutual respect. In the medieval cities of Spain and the Middle East, vibrant communities thrived under a shared cultural umbrella, contributing to a legacy of tolerance and coexistence. These episodes of peaceful coexistence remind us that while human history may be marred by conflict, the core messages of Judaism and Islam continue to advocate for unity, respect, and a commitment to the common good. In our modern world, the dialogue between Judaism and Islam has taken on new dimensions as communities seek to bridge old divides and build a future founded on mutual understanding. Across the globe, interfaith initiatives and academic forums have emerged, creating spaces where the teachings of the Torah, the Quran, and the Hadith can be discussed openly and respectfully. Scholars, community leaders, and ordinary believers alike engage in conversations that explore the similarities and differences in their traditions, aiming to find common ground and shared values. These efforts are not just about resolving historical grievances, they are a testament to the enduring power of faith to bring people together, to heal old wounds, and to inspire hope for a more peaceful world. By listening to one another and learning from the wisdom embedded in their sacred texts, Muslims and Jews work to create communities that are more inclusive, tolerant, and just. Throughout this journey, it becomes clear that the heart of both Judaism and Islam is the belief in one compassionate, all-powerful God who guides humanity with wisdom and care. For Jews, this relationship is remembered through the covenant and the commandments that have been handed down through generations. For Muslims, the Quran and the Hadith provide a comprehensive guide that encourages submission to Allah's will and the pursuit of a life marked by righteousness and generosity. In both cases, the sacred texts are more than just historical documents. They are living sources of inspiration that continue to shape personal identity, community life, and ethical conduct. They remind us that the search for truth and the commitment to living a good life are universal quests that transcend time, culture, and language. The teachings of Judaism emphasize the importance of tradition, community, and the continual reinterpretation of sacred law in light of new challenges. Whether it is the careful study of ancient texts or the vibrant celebration of festivals that mark the passage of time, Jewish life is deeply rooted in the belief that every generation must engage with its heritage in order to shape a better future. These practices, passed down through centuries of communal experience, create bonds of solidarity and hope that link the past to the present. Similarly, the Islamic tradition places great value on the continuous reflection and application of divine guidance to everyday life. The practice of daily prayer, the annual observance of Ramadan, and the ongoing commitment to charity all serve as reminders that faith is an active, living process, one that calls each believer to strive for moral excellence and social justice. In the realm of spirituality and personal growth, both Judaism and Islam offer paths that lead to inner peace and a deeper understanding of the self. The rituals of prayer, meditation, and fasting in each tradition are designed to help believers step back from the rush of everyday life and reconnect with the divine. In Judaism, the quiet moments of reflection during Sabbath or the solemnity of Yom Kippur allow individuals to examine their actions and renew their commitment to living according to God's will. In Islam, the structured times for prayer throughout the day, along with the reflective practices during Ramadan, offer opportunities to cleanse the soul and reinforce a sense of humility and gratitude. These spiritual practices, though expressed differently, both aim to cultivate an inner life that is rich in compassion, self-awareness, and devotion. The impact of these faiths extends beyond the individual to the very fabric of society. Jewish communities, with their emphasis on education, justice, and community service, have long been at the forefront of social and cultural change. Their traditions inspire efforts to support the vulnerable, to stand against oppression, and to build institutions that promote fairness and opportunity. Likewise, the Islamic call for charity, compassion, and social responsibility has inspired countless acts of kindness and community-building initiatives around the world. Whether through the simple act of feeding the hungry or the complex work of reforming social policies, the ethical teachings of both Judaism and Islam remind us that faith is best expressed through service to others and a commitment to creating a just society. As the world continues to evolve, so too does the relationship between these two ancient traditions. In a time marked by rapid technological change, political uncertainty, and cultural shifts, the timeless messages of the Torah, the Quran, and the Hadith offer a counterbalance. A reminder that while methods may change, the fundamental quest for truth, justice, and compassion remains the same. Modern scholars and community leaders from both faiths are increasingly recognizing that dialogue and cooperation are essential if we are to address the complex challenges of our time. Through interfaith seminars, community projects, and shared cultural events, Jews and Muslims are working side by side to foster environments where differences are respected and common values celebrated. In reflecting on this journey through the histories and teachings of Judaism and Islam, we come to see that their differences are not barriers, but opportunities for learning and growth. Both traditions are anchored in a deep sense of reverence for God and a commitment to ethical living, a commitment that speaks to the universal desire for justice, peace, and understanding. The Quran's reminder to the children of Israel and the Hadith's call to care for one's neighbor echo the timeless principles found in the sacred texts of Judaism. These shared values form the foundation upon which bridges of dialogue and cooperation can be built, inviting every believer to look beyond the surface and recognize the beauty of diversity within unity. As we draw this exploration to a close, the enduring lessons from both Judaism and Islam remind us that the true measure of any faith lies not in its rituals or dogmas, but in its ability to inspire love, foster compassion, and guide us towards a life of purpose and justice. The rich legacies of these traditions continue to light the way for millions around the world, offering insights into how we might live together in peace despite our differences. In the simple act of reading an ancient scripture or reflecting on a timeless teaching, we find that the pursuit of a better world is a shared journey, a journey marked by hope, humility, and an unwavering commitment to truth. Ultimately, the dialogue between Islam and Judaism is a testament to the power of faith to transcend time and cultural boundaries. It shows us that while the paths we follow may differ in form, they are united by a common quest for meaning and a shared commitment to values that uplift and empower humanity. This conversation, vibrant and evolving, invites us to look within ourselves and to recognize that every act of kindness, every word of wisdom, and every step taken in pursuit of justice is a step towards a brighter, more united future.